We are the janitor, we are the accountant, we for F&B the cashier. The business went to 7-digit losses every year for that 2 years. I say entrepreneurs are made to survive. We need to take pauses and chart our way again. If you don't have SOP, you don't have a framework, always ask yourself why. With crisis always come opportunity.
Welcome to Ground Zero Stories podcast. I'm Adeline.
I'm Ronald.
We are the hosts for Ground Zero Stories. At Ground Zero Stories, we don't interview people about the success after it happens.
At Ground Zero Story, we talk about the uncomfortable part, the season before the wins, before the applause, before the story sounds neat.
Yes.
We explore the moment of doubt, decision, pressure, and perseverance, because the real success is built long before it looks obvious.
So this is Ground Zero Stories, brought to you by Divergent Trading Private Limited, where we empower growth through our 4D success framework. Discover, dream, develop, and deliver, helping individuals like you and organizations unlock potential and move ideas into actions. So today in our studio, we are privileged to be joined by Liang. Welcome, Liang. Someone whose journey reflects exactly what Ground Zero Stories is about, not just where he is today, but the decisions, the experiences, and the turning points that shape who he is today and who he has become.
Shi Liang is a business owner, author, captain of entrepreneurship. He helps entrepreneurs to grow and to also scale their business. He also helped mid-career professionals to build clarity, build confidence and control over business, health, and also family. A former Navy officer, which bring practical frameworks, real life experience, disciplined thinking to modern entrepreneurship. Welcome, Liang, to Ground Zero Story.
Okay, let me start the ball rolling, Liang. So, Liang, in your content, you often talk about your children. In fact, I see them in some of your videos as well. And you often talk about being a role model for your children, and you always share with us about, how you are watching them, and the kids are watching how you showed up. And you also say that for entrepreneurs, family is your first business, whom we are responsible for. Can you share with us what does that means to you, and how it shapes the way you lead and make decisions today? Now, maybe you start with, how does that mean to you, your children, your family?
Yeah, so first and foremost, thank you for having me here and for the great intro. So yeah, rightly put, for entrepreneurs especially, you do business out there, you try to bring food to the table and stuff like that. So what is success and who is the success for? So first and foremost, success is for my family and for my kids. So and I have this by heart because my dad was midlife transition into business, right, into F&B. And back then, Singapore was developing, life was a bit tougher, we stay in HDB. Dad and mom met each other in the factory. And life was, I'm still fortunate. I come from a middle class family. Things were still comfortable, although a little luxury. But I'm sure that my dad and mom worked so hard to give me whatever I want, especially I was the only child. So while I have that kind of comfort and that kind of, you got to be hardworking. Dad was a very traditional man, although he didn't really rule with an iron fist or cane. But he was a very solemn, serious guy, and the real traditional fatherly figure. But while I have all these stable childhood, but I also have little time with them, especially during my younger days. And I thought, I wanted to be better, especially when things are really more comfortable. My dad really built a stable base, which I can further leverage upon, and I want to give a better life to my kids. And right now, I have two lovely boys, and my dad, two lovely grandchildren. Yeah, and I always compare that, Dad, how come I don't remember you treating me so well with so much luxury and so much love.
Pamper.
Yeah, when I was younger. And I always believe that, other than that, from my personal experience, I always believe that for entrepreneurs, in order for you to excel out there in a very highly competitive world, right? First and foremost, you need to have a very supportive family. So my very organic family, whereby my parents and they gave me a good foundation in my formative years, and of course my Navy days, where my commanders gave me very good training and tough love. And now with my new family, my wife and my two lovely kids, spouse support is very, very, very important. I can't emphasize more than enough, and I thank my wife out there. Thank you so much. For supporting, giving me all the support. Although I didn't really verbalize it many a times, but for entrepreneurs, we are not a MNC. We are starting from a SME, and I always share we are the pakaliao, we are the janitor, we are the accountant, we are for F&B the cashier, we are the marketing, we are the one leg kicking, we are doing everything ourselves, and we are so out there, and without letting my kids feel left out, other than going back to them at night and in the weekends. My wife got to do the heavy carrying, right? So spousal support is very important, and for me, I still make it a point, because my kids are still young, below 5 years old. I make a point that I try to block out time at night, especially at the weekends, for them. Yeah. So to me, yes, family is my first business.
So, who would you consider to be your pillar of strength for your success, or what you're doing outside today?
Relationship is definitely very important. So, like I mentioned, my parents, although my late mom is no longer around. Yeah, and my dad, for the very, very silent role model example that he gave in my years, and of course my naval commanders, with all the tough love, and although people always say that paper general, we don't go to war, but the type of thinking and upbringing in a military man or the SAF, it definitely makes you think of contingencies, think of which other bigger MNCs out there do you have, right? If you think of SAF as an MNC, having that kind of size, having that kind of foreign collaborations and stuff, yeah, no other kind of MNCs could do that. And of course, most importantly, like I say, my wife. Yeah.
So part of growing up, right? So what is that one occasion that happened during childhood, right? Transform the way you think, and who have made you what you are today as an entrepreneur?
Actually, quite ironically, right? Yes, my dad was a factory worker. My parents were factory worker, and then maybe they transitioned into business because they were retrenched from the typewriting company. Yeah, so my dad had previously invested or loaned a sum of money for my uncle to start a business in F&B, into coffee shops. So as I was growing up, I sort of spend my holidays in the coffee shop, growing up in coffee shop. Then I start to think, will I one day grow up to be a kopikia? Right, that's why I thought, I was at a cross junction after A-levels and thinking of what course to enroll in uni. And I thought, no matter where I go, I don't think I want to be a kopikia. Back then, I still do not have the kind of entrepreneur mindset and doing business and stuff like that. Being in the education system for like 10 over years, we were trained to study hard, work hard, get a government job, iron rice bowl, become engineer and stuff like that. The very traditional Asian thinking. Although my family was in business, but there wasn't that much of the knowledge transfer or the SOP and stuff like that back then, And so I say, let's not leave it to chance. Why not? I not waste the 2 years of NS, and let's not get caught into the family business. Let's sign on.
You mentioned that your mom passed away. At what age was that?
Oh, my mom passed on relatively young when I was around 28, 29.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's in 2016.
Has that impacted who you are now?
Yes, a lot. And it was also when I really pivoted and start to look at entrepreneurship again. Yeah. So I was serving in the Navy for 10 years. And my mom was not feeling that well, was ill for quite a while before I even went overseas for overseas deployment in Gulf of Aden for anti-piracy efforts with the Navy. So, and before she passed on, I was what others would call siao on, and because I find so much passion and purpose in serving in the Navy, but when my mom was ill and I came back and, she passed on, it took quite a toll on me. It took quite a toll on me, and I started thinking about life and how can I have things and times a bit more flexible for my family. How can I then build on a legacy that I can live on for my family and my kids? Yeah.
So can I say that she sparked the entire entrepreneurship journey in you?
Indirectly, I think she made me, you need the big life events to, to pause, to stop you, to think about life. Yeah, otherwise, we sometimes just keep going and going without a direction. We thought that was the direction, but, sometimes winds change, sometimes the environment change, and, we need to take pauses and chart our way again on how we want to proceed with our life.
So at that point when you decide to be entrepreneur, how do you prepare yourself? I'm curious.
The honest truth, while I'm captain of entrepreneurship, naval background and business now, we look so good at the front. But the honest truth is, at that point in time when I left, I just found that, my whole purpose of life, I wanted to pivot it, from serving the nation and stuff like that. I thought that, I'm turning into middle age, I'm 30, turning 30, I should start looking at my family. My dad is aging, and I'm going to start a family with my then girlfriend and our wife, the same girl. Yeah. So, it made me start to think again on how I want to move on with the next part of my life.
Okay. Was it also because of your mom's demise that you have to take over the family business at that time, or to support your dad? Is he still running the coffee shop at that time?
The immediate family have sold off our shares. My grandaunt is still in it, but my mom hasn't been in the business. But it really made me pause to look at things, and of course, my mom wasn't well for the 1.5 years before she passed on. So my dad was a primary caregiver, and I witnessed that my dad had shed so much weight. There was so much grief, but being the traditional Asian parent that he was and the fatherly figure, we don't verbalize emotions that much, which is also why I'm also still trying to learn, to verbalize emotions with my two boys. It's not weakness. It's not weakness. Yeah. So dad shed a lot of weight. Mom passed on. He was visibly grieved, saddened by it and stuff like that, and not verbalizing it. So I thought, I had to do doubly much to make sure that sometimes many times they say that when the partners are so close, they follow one another. Yeah. So back then I had that worry as well.
All right. And earlier on, you mentioned that back then when you were in the A level, the word entrepreneurship is not on your mind, right?
No,
And that's
not
why
yet.
you choose to sell on and sign on, right? So today, do you think that it's important for young people to have this entrepreneur mindset when they are younger? And does that give them an advantage in becoming the person they want to be in today's landscape?
I think not just in today's landscape, but even from the past. There are just always these small group of rebellious people in class that don't follow rules and don't follow instructions. They always try to think out of the box and stuff like that. Those are actually good traits for being an entrepreneur. Thinking out of the box and stuff. In the school education, we need people that can follow instructions. People that were in the economy back then of manufacturing, many labors, manpower and labor in the factories, which we need when we were in our formative years in our nation building, right? But we are transiting into AI, technology, thinking more of the box, brainstorming, looking ahead, even AI and stuff like that. We need to think smart and out of the box, and I think this kind of entrepreneurial and thinking out of the box soft skills are even more sought after now.
You mentioned a few times thinking out of the box. So when you first decided to become entrepreneur, what was that box?
Yeah, but while I'm saying that a lot now, the very honest truth is back then when I just left the service, I didn't have in mind what I wanted to do. I just had the direction, and I just took that leap of faith. Most of us, when we are trapped in the education system, we are afraid to take that leap of faith.
Then why F&B?
My family was in it. It was quite a natural progression for me.
family also.
So I always had that thought of three things that will always be evergreen. First being F&B. People need to eat. It's just whether is it the luxurious food or is it the staple food. Then of course we have beauty and healthcare. They always say that ladies, beauty over life. Yeah. So ladies industry always thriving, and the last one is kids. The society is getting more affluent. Singapore is getting more affluent. We want to groom our next generation, education, even their apparels and stuff like that. They are drinking better milk powder. That's why they say they are getting smarter earlier and more naughty. Yes, my two boys included. And
okay.
and there's a hidden fourth one that I don't. I consider in my three. The fourth one is the funeral services. Yeah.
Okay, so if you were given a choice back then to redo all over again, right? Would you still do F&B, or you will consider other trade, like what we had mentioned earlier on, kids business, funeral business, and even providing support to entrepreneurs as well?
Yeah, I mean, as a Chinese, we always visit our roots, and those that follow me knows that I go back to my roots, being a Hainanese, being a family in F&B, and I still, although I invested and started many businesses, I still pride myself of being with a F&B entrepreneur. But rather than saying that would I still go into F&B, I would still say that I would still sign on with the Republic of Singapore Navy. So that's where a lot of my upbringing and education had been, made me how to think and how to plan and how to look forward. So people ask me, do I miss the Navy? Yes, I still miss the Navy, not just on the cruise and the free beautiful views, the stars, the sea. We always say sun, sand, sea, right? So but more of the training and upbringing. So I would still give it a chance. I would still sign up with the Navy, and given a chance, I would still, after leaving the Navy, go back to where my family had started in the F&B business.
Okay.
Navy is going to thank you for that free advertisement. After
Yeah.
that, their
Recruitment
recruitment and
drive.
sign up will go up.
Recruitment,
Wow. But share with us, anything interesting, exciting that nobody knows happened in the Navy.
in the Navy.
or something that
That's
shaped
very,
you lah.
very memorable.
Yeah,
Very,
yeah,
up to
yeah,
now, you
yeah.
still, whenever think of Navy days, that's that point in time you always remember. What would that be?
I mean, I am thinking quite hard because for some of the operations I cannot say.
Of course.
If I say it out, then maybe the next day I'll be around, or you maybe not
You'll be
there.
caught for kopi.
Yeah. So I would really like to share about the upbringing. I had the privilege of serving under very good commanders. I would like to say 2 or 3 examples. Right. One is really about finding your purpose, your purpose of being, and your purpose of doing things. Visiting the principal considerations and first principles. So for one of my senior commanders shared, if you are lost, always ask yourself, why? Ask yourself why 5 times. Yeah. Until you get to an answer that you can't answer anymore. So this is your very initial and first principles and purpose. Yeah. So that's one. And 2, for events and for occurrence or operations, exercises, and a senior commander shared, do dry rehearsal. Put yourself in position, run through all possible scenarios that might happen. Do it 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. Yeah. You can't prep enough if you just go through on paper. Yeah.
So you probably also develop your leadership skills, people skills during that time.
Very much.
Okay, and that probably influenced how you lead your team right now, and how you started with so many businesses and probably a bigger team to lead as well.
Yeah. The people under me might not, might not really like it, or might not really feel the most comfortable because, my boss comes from a military background. Yeah. So yeah, some of them would feel that, you are a bit more rigid and stuff like that. But for business, if you don't have a SOP, you don't have a framework, then how? Who are your staff going to pay for your losses? Yeah, you need to be responsible, right? So without all those guiding the business and guiding the people, then how? Who is going to do it? If I want to be, I'm a businessman rather than a self-employed, right? If I'm still in the business, I'm a self-employed. But if I want to move out of the business, just managing it, not just in the daily operations, to be a real business owner, then yes, I need to have framework, I need to have SOPs, and I need to govern people, even when I'm not there, even when I'm not watching. Yeah.
I want to bring you back to the days whereby before COVID. A month before COVID, right? Knowing what you know then, how do you prepare your team then?
You mean before it happened?
Yeah,
1
before
month,
it happened,
or after
maybe
it
I would
happened?
say because the lockdown happens in March, right? So
Yes.
maybe January and February. What's going through your mind, and how do you plan?
We didn't see it coming. It was the outbreak. It broke out in China. We are Singapore is so strong that we are brought up in such a comfortable society and environment. Won't hit us lah. Won't hit us lah. So the truth is in January, February, all the way up to March. I was planning for expansion.
Wow.
I was planning for expansion. On the very day, I can remember very clearly, it was on 25th or 26th March that the circuit breaker was announced. Guess what?
Exact dates.
Yeah, why I can remember? Because I just signed a new tenancy agreement. I just signed a new tenancy agreement. Yeah, so you ask me, what I was planning. I was planning on the expansion.
Yes.
Business is business as usual. Yes. So of course, they say go big or go home.
True entrepreneur.
Yeah, go big or go
Yeah,
home.
don't care whether it's good times or bad times. Just do it.
So until the bad time really hit, it was still good time, and I was planning on expansion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, so I mean, touching a bit more, you have the pre-COVID, and of course you have the COVID and post-COVID. COVID was really a bad time for F&B, right? And we all know, in order to earn more, and the places that earn more, example, a plate of chicken rice. I'm selling, pre-COVID, I'm selling $4.50 in a neighboring residential area food court or coffee shop. But the same plate of chicken rice is selling for $6 to $8 in MBS. Right? So, I mean, the chicken don't grow more expensive into MBS, right? They don't need to pay a pass or the ticket. So the cost is the same. But I'm selling like, 1.5 times more. There's more margin and stuff like that. So it was booming when, tourism was out there. Singapore is like, Changi Airport and stuff like that. Chicken rice being one of the national dish. Wow. Profit was good. But came COVID, the tourist area was a dead town. And people were locked up at the home, work from home, etc. Suddenly, residential area was booming. Yeah. And suddenly there's a new hype called delivery. Or actually delivery was already there, but through COVID, delivery boomed. And fortunately, on hindsight or foresight then, you remember the TA that I mentioned that I signed was for a cloud kitchen. Was for a cloud kitchen. And that business took off during COVID. And yes, when they say people evolve, human evolve to become lazier, to become smarter and lazier, more efficient, they don't go back. So when delivery evolved and stuff like that, the trend stayed. And the delivery business still is doing okay, even post-COVID. Yeah. So, with pandemic and stuff like that, it's the end for some people, but it's also the new beginning of the others. Yeah, with crisis always come opportunities.
So coming out of the COVID lockdown, right? Because a lot of people are going back to work, people are not staying at home, then has that affected your business then?
Yes. Back then, our business were about 50-50 in residential area as well as those touristy areas. We had places like in Lau Pa Sat, in Funan, IT Mall, in MBS, and basically...
Oh, how you cope, man? So many...
Nobody's going there.
Yeah, then how do you cope?
Yeah. It is really through staff that, supportive staff, loyal staff that, stayed with us, taking no pay leave or staggering leaves so that we can keep as many of them as possible. Outlets were running into the rates, especially for the touristy ones. There were subsidies for 1-2 months, but you remember actually COVID lasted for more than 12 months. Yeah, and subsidies were good. Not enough, but better than nothing. But it wasn't enough. So it really took good people around us, suppliers, staff, and quick pivoting into other businesses, bringing businesses in the residential up, doing more group buys, going into estates, bringing the food to people, and that is the really thinking out of the box. That's why I say entrepreneurs are made to survive. They think out of the box to survive even in the harshest. They will always be the first to react. Yeah, to survive in the harshest conditions.
So during the hard times, are there any point in time that you thought about, ayah swala, give it up lah?
The truth is, let me think. I didn't. Looking back, I might say I might have, but really at that point in time, I didn't. Because, we were so busy doing firefighting, trying to get sales up, trying to retain as many staff that I could. The first instinct that, we had, yes, we lose money. Definitely. Don't need to count. Don't need to wait for the month end to get the accounts to count for me. We are definitely having it bad from the daily sales itself. But what keep us going is that, the accountability. Back then the family had over 80 stores around Singapore, and directly under my charge were 30 odd stores. That amounts to about 80-90 staff just under my charge alone. So, we can lose money. I have 80 packs under me. And these 80 packs have, if on average, 3 family members per household, then I'm going to affect 240 lives. And that is why I think the government really subsidize business, open up SME loans, really to, spending trillions, from the reserve to help businesses first, because businesses will, then give employment opportunities to the citizens. So to me is, I'm going to affect 240 or more livelihood, some of which are, still school going kids, housewives, and these newly unemployed people, if, I were just to follow my business. So yeah, it's really about accountability and, to take care of the people under you. So really, other than just making money in business, we are really taking care and making a difference in our employees and our partners' life. Yeah. So that to me is the accountability, and that is also to me the beautiful part of doing business. And to keep me going. This culture came from the Navy. It's a home. We always say a home away from home. Our home that we go back to and come out from at day and night, and the Navy or the workplace will then be your second family. So I brought that culture with me from Navy back to my career and my staff, my employees. I call them my partners in my business, because without them, so my uncle will always say, if you call me boss today, then I'm boss. If I have employees, then I have boss. But if today you don't give me face, you don't follow me, then I'm no longer the boss. Yep. Right? Yeah. So to me, that's very important.
Okay. So during COVID, it seems that you have lost money there. Can you share with the viewers how much, a ballpark figure, how much you lose there?
The truth is the business went to 7-digit losses every year for that 2 years. Yeah. And as entrepreneur, and I shared, in my previous podcast and stuff, I had that itchy backside syndrome. I can't be idle. And circuit breaker, who in the right mind will go on a full-fledged expansion? Yes, I did. Okay, I did went on to expansion for other cloud kitchens, but it is quite controlled and at a slower pace. It's not like boom, 1 month, 2 outlets, that kind of thing. So from that fast pace to a very much slower pace, and being idle, it was really uncomfortable. I need to go do something and keep thinking and keep planning and do something, go getter. So then, of course, there are people that get into trouble and need the restructuring and need the loans, and a lot of people were looking for takeovers and investments. So which my itchy backside, I invested into a few other industries, which I wasn't really that clear on, and of course I made more losses.
Which industry were they?
So around that period, cryptocurrency was coming up, so there was the crypto farming. Then I also went to high-tech farming back then, because thinking that it is a good vertical integration for my front end retail F&B. Yeah. Then I also went into social media marketing, because I engaged social media marketing for myself, but then it made me think that could I get more involved and more control in that business, and also more than that is can I then use social media to help transform other business to tide through COVID, to help other entrepreneurs to tide through COVID. So these were some of the many that come to mind now, but I'm sure that I lost money in more than these places.
Are these businesses still alive?
Sadly no. Some of which I divested, exited. They were still going on at the point of time where I exited, but now all of them had stopped. All of them had stopped.
So people always say, do what you are good at, right? Sounds like it's also true in your cases, because you go and dabble on something that you are unfamiliar with, it didn't last, and you lost even more money.
Yeah, I think these are wisdom passed down from the previous generation, right?
Must listen,
But yes, you will listen. But the truth about entrepreneurs is also, like I shared many times, they are a different breed. They will want to go and do it. you can tell them you come in from the left ear, you go out from the right ear, but not stay here, right? So I would still want to experience it myself, bang the wall, bleed, to really like,
That's why.
that is true.
I'm hearing a bit of irony there. I'm just curious because you mentioned being F&B and you manage your staff as that's not a simple feat. It seems you could be very, very busy most of the time. But on the other hand, you were saying you still got time to be having itchy backside to do not one business but started join three business. What can you explain why?
How he juggle,
why you juggle this?
This
What cost that?
This was COVID. This was
COVID time.
Yeah.
But even handling 80, 90 people's problem is a big task.
We had a bit of we released some stuff. Yeah, but then I also stopped expanding. So the thing is, I stopped expanding. I need to channel my energy somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you slow down that to do something else.
But I was forced to slow down. But it was also a good pause to stop, take and see where I can take the business after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now still got itchy backside syndrome or not?
Still have, but I would raise my bar for my risk appetite. Also because of commitments, because of the age and maturity, and because of having experienced COVID. Yeah. So back then I was proud to say that people are not risk takers. They want like almost 90%, 100% that they will do it. I say, it's 60% will try. 60% will try.
Now leh?
Now, I am. I'm going towards them. 70, 80% at least. Yeah.
I think you also mentioned in a couple of your interviews, right? You said that if you lost everything, the real currency left is trust and relationships. What makes you say that?
I lived through that. So in COVID, we lost many businesses. We lost money. We also closed down many shops post COVID. The truth is, the relationships left behind by my dad and my uncle, the suppliers, the business partners, when I say I have an idea, they know where to point me. While we might not be doing business then, but my uncle and my dad had business dealings with them during their formative years together. They grew together, they support each other. The salesmen then had became managers and now directors, which gave me a good entry point to speak to directors instead of sales at my age. Right. So through my uncle's connection, which in the middle, there was a breakage, but those kind of camaraderie and fellowship, companionship, having rose through the ranks together, passing on to the next generation to continue that kind of relationship. Yeah. So there were many instances whereby I was talking to the GMs, the directors of established businesses, as well as their second gen.
Right.
Yeah. So taking off where they had left it. Yeah.
Who will be that one person in your life that have molded you, the entrepreneur that you are right now?
I wouldn't say that it is that one person, but of course at home it will be the dad. But sadly, I didn't see it as I was growing up. Because it's like so for granted. And it's like he's so harsh on me. He's not there at home and he's so harsh on me, and he's not very expressive about love and emotions. But as I got married and I have my own kids and I am like parenting, then I myself and I think people start to realize that so this is parenting. This is what it is. Then we know why they did what they did. Yeah.
I have to ask you another question here. How would your father's parental skills and yourself, your style, right? The style of your father and yourself, how does it differ and where does it are the same?
I would still say that I'm pretty much still the very Asian parent. I would want the authority at home and stuff like that. Yeah, but for the things that I didn't had and I wish I had when I was younger, the emotions, expressing, verbalizing the love, the emotions. I wouldn't have "I love you" at home, when I was younger. No hugs and stuff like that. Especially when I was even older lah. But that is also what I'm trying to give my kids. I would say, I love you. Hug, give him a hug. Yeah, to know that the dad is always present and stuff like that. Not just in the silent presence. My dad, I know that for sure now. That was the silent presence, the hard work. The whenever I need support, financially or physically, whatever hardships you had out there in society, you go back to the safe place or the harbor called home. My dad and my mom are always there, no matter how bad or rebellious I was. But it was a silent presence. So what I'm still pretty much the same dad that my dad has, and I think he has been a good role model. I'm just trying to be a bit more expressive in the emotional part. Yeah.
What will happen if one day your dad come to you and say, "Son, I'm very proud of you. I love you," and hug you?
Actually, I'm trying to do the opposite. I'm thinking of one day getting my son and together. Because I would love that. Especially after my mom left, right? And I knew that I wasn't the easiest kid to have. An only child. I wasn't being the best version of myself for my mom. Wanted to be a better version of myself for my dad. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm gonna reverse it. Yeah. Instead of waiting for my dad to come. Some rawness there. Yeah.
I'm sure it will happen.
Yes. I'm sure the day will come.
Never say that, but then I released it. Not the best place though.
Okay. So, thank you, Shi Liang. Thank you for sharing your deepest, most feeling and thoughts with us, with all the viewers here. Yeah, this all what we are doing right now is really bringing every entrepreneur to go to the point whereby we want to really let them express their feelings and really share with people, and so that how can they overcome their innermost fears, and also how to really bring them out. Once it's released, things will be much better because it's something that you're holding very deep inside your heart.
Yeah, at the end of the day, what we are doing, right, is really for the people that we love. It is. So thank you for showing us to the viewers.
Thank you for sharing with us. Thank you.
We're also very touched by your interview, and
Yeah.
thank you for sharing your most inner thoughts that you probably haven't shared this out anywhere in the public, and we are very privileged to have you to really open up, show us your vulnerability. Thank you so much.
Thank you for me. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. So yes, that concluded our first very first episode of Ground Zero Stories. And as you could see, nothing is scripted. There is no polished answers. There is no rehearsal. And you get to see everything raw as it is.
Yes.
So if there are people whom you want to interview, or you think that you should be the one that we should interview, write to us at Divergent Training Private Limited, and you're going to see the email that you can send to us or the website address. Right, so stay tuned, and we have more exciting and wonderful interviews coming up.